Good afternoon, Pastor Ralph with you again. I'm going to be sharing a parable that I've wrestled with my entire life, and it seems that the exact meaning is elusive. At the same time, it's a parable that continues to speak to me and draw me in, and I seem to hear some different things each time I look at it, so I'll share it with you, and then you do a bit of thinking as well. Jesus told his disciples, this is Luke chapter 16, the first 9 verses, there was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and asked him, "What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management, because you cannot be my manager any longer." The manager said to himself, "What shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do, so that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses." So he called in each one of his master's debtors. He asked the first, "How much do you owe my master?" 900 gallons of oil, he replied. The manager told him, "Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 450. The manager then asked the second, "And how much do you owe?" 1,000 bushels of wheat, he replied. He told him, "Take your bill and make it 800. The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of light. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings." Now, I get the part about living our lives in a way that when all is said and done, we live in eternal dwellings, that we live with God, that if Jesus said that where I go, there are many mansions and I've prepared a place for you, that there is this hope in us that we will be with him. But what about this story and this shrewdness and dishonesty? Well, for one, how cognizant of Jesus to be aware of how people really treat others, that there is often a great deal of wit and wisdom. It may be about self-preservation, it may be about getting a lot for oneself, but there are certainly people who show a great deal of craft and shrewdness in how they live in the world. Given a bad situation, this manager looks at it in a shrewd way. How can I get out of it? How can I avoid the horrors of manual labor? For him, a horrible thing. For many of us, a great thing. But how can I avoid that? I'm not strong, and, well, the last thing that I want in the world I want to do is to have to beg. So I'll, in a sense, buy my way into the favor of others. But there are people who do that regularly, greasing the palms, offering bribes, doing what it takes to gain the favor of someone who's richer, more powerful, someone who can provide for one's needs, perhaps. But it seems hidden within it is this message to be thoughtful about how we do things. I think about the early church, and they had struggles at times. One instance in Acts chapter 6, the community is experiencing some conflict, and the Hellenistic, Greek-named, Greek-oriented Jewish part of the church, they were complaining. The widows were not getting enough. There was discrimination. And the apostles, in shrewdness, took to organizing things. They weren't going to solve it themselves and, well, if you can't feed one another fairly, we'll take care of it. No, they instead acted shrewdly. There are some among you who are wise and faithful, good character. These are the ones who should take care of it. And the group as a whole said, "That's great." And what happened? Hellenistically named men, so perhaps Greek converts themselves, Hellenistic Jews, we're the ones who took care of the responsibilities. There is a place to order lives wisely in how we do things, how we use things, but you perhaps heard something different in that parable, and that's part of the beauty of the parables. There isn't a right or a wrong, but can you find the fruit? Can you see the good meat in it? Can you see and find the wisdom? And perhaps you have something you would share with another person. Well, enough for today. I'll say farewell. God bless you. Bye-bye.